dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. We begin tonight with some breaking news out of Floyd County. We have just learned someone is dead following a crash. It happened just before 4 o'clock. Kentucky Route 122 is closed in the city of Martin, but is expected to reopen soon. Right now, we just know of one person that was killed. The conditions of anyone else that might have been involved or the names of those involved have not been released yet. We hope to have more information for you coming up at 6. The 5th annual Breathitt County Trail Ride kicked off yesterday. Hundreds attend that event every year. WYT's Lauren McCourt talked with folks about how this one event helps boost their economy.
There's something about saddling up your horse and heading into the mountains.
I like it. I like it real good.
That makes you feel like nothing else in the world matters.
It's like the Wild Wild West.
It's a feeling that people get at the Breathitt County Trail Ride.
We've got a lot of horse people in Breathitt County.
A 4-day event that brings folks in from far and wide.
Loaded up yesterday and took off.
Brings people from out of state to see what a beautiful country we have to ride in.
To saddle up and enjoy the scenic views that Breathitt County has to offer.
Probably 100 horses out there, all different colors, sizes, shapes.
Not to mention the boost it gives the local economy.
This is a big money maker for the county.
It's a big boost financially.
It really supports our county. It brings money into our county, helps our businesses.
For the past 3 years, the Breathitt County Horsemen Association has hosted this event.
So whenever we started, we had around 100, 150 people, and now it's really starting to grow. I can see a big difference.
To not only bring riders together,
You come back here and just drive through here, you're not going to be able to enjoy all this.
but to shine a light on their community. In Breathitt County, Lauren McCourt, WYMT Mountain News.
The trail ride takes place at the South Fork Elkview and will continue until Sunday afternoon. It's been a full week of emotions in Magoffin County, but the family of 22-month-old Kenneth Howard tells us he's expected to go home today. Howard disappeared from his home Sunday night. Crews found him 67 hours later. They took him to the hospital where he's been treated for dehydration. Family members also say he suffered some swelling and tick bites, but overall is in pretty good shape. They're calling his story The Miracle in the Mountains, and we'll have the very latest on his condition coming up at 6.
And it's been a beautiful day here at Jenny Wiley State Resort Park. We were at the 34th annual Big Sandy Senior Games all day today outside enjoying the beautiful weather. If you haven't got out today, definitely recommend doing so. Let's go ahead and dive into a few of those cameras across the area. You'll notice as we take a look at Interstate 75 in London, we're seeing those mixtures of sun and clouds throughout the day, but overall we've seen those beautiful sunny skies. Another thing we want to update you on, there is a severe thunderstorm watch just to our north and to our east. You'll notice our West Virginia counties in that Logan, Mingo, and Wayne County, Lawrence County, Kentucky, and Rowan County, Kentucky, as well as in this severe thunderstorm watch, and that's until 11 o'clock tonight. We could see a few showers and storms popping up, especially with that summertime pattern setting up. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as we head into the next few hours. Pinpoint Doppler, you'll notice as we look to the north, that is where we're seeing most of those showers stay for now, but some could come down to areas along I-64. You'll notice as we zoom into that, most of those showers and storms definitely staying to our north for now. Like I said, we'll keep an eye on this as we head into the next few hours. Temperatures are into the low to mid 80s, and it's pretty warm outside. Definitely feeling a little bit humid as well. So those isolated storms remain to the north of us. Some could come into our area. Hot and humid. That continues as we head into the weekend, along with those daily rain chances. We'll break down that full forecast coming up for you guys in just a few short minutes.
All right, Paige, thank you very much. A beautiful day out there at Jenny Wiley. The Trump administration is keeping immigration at the forefront of its focus as it tries to deal with immigrants caught at the border, as well as immigrants already in the U.S. CBS's Natalie Brand has more from the White House.
A plane full of undocumented immigrants landed in San Diego as the Department of Homeland Security has started shipping migrants from the U.S.-Mexico border in Texas to cities across the country.
It's going to ultimately be something I'm going to have to talk with the president about. And I don't think that this should happen in Florida.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, an ally of President Trump, says he's against a DHS plan to send 2 plane loads of migrants each week, up to 1,000 people a month, to Palm Beach and Broward counties.
If you believe what was leaked and reported, the plan would be to simply put migrants out on the street, basically, which would tax the resources.
The president tweeted about border security Friday morning, warning undocumented immigrants not to make themselves too comfortable, saying they'll be leaving soon. The conservative Daily Caller reports the administration is considering invoking a little-known law called the Insurrection Act to use the military to remove undocumented immigrants from the country. Meanwhile, the New York Times reports since March, the IRS has sent letters to 570,000 businesses notifying them that some of their employees' names do not match their Social Security numbers.
The question has come up whether the Social Security Administration is sharing information with DHS. That's a question that they have refused to answer, and it's not my place to answer it, but we have to see what they do moving forward.
The letters do not threaten employers with enforcement action or penalties. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, the White House.
The Insurrection Act was last invoked in 1992 by George H.W. Bush to quell the Los Angeles riots, and was also used by President Eisenhower in 1957 to enforce school desegregation in the South. A sheriff charged with DUI is back on the job. Breckinridge County Sheriff Todd Pate was arrested in March. His attorney says Pate entered a rehab program in Tennessee. He went back to work this week. He's set to be arraigned this summer. This is his second DUI charge in 4 years. Missouri lawmakers passed anti-abortion legislation today, making it the 5th state this year to enact a so-called fetal heartbeat bill. It bans abortions at 8 weeks of pregnancy and increases tax credits for donations to pregnancy resource centers. Women who receive abortions after 8 weeks would not be prosecuted, but doctors performing abortions would face up to 15 years in prison and lose their medical licenses. Well, Kentucky's primary election is this coming Tuesday, and abortion has become a major issue. Last night, Governor Bevin talked with conservative commentator Tucker Carlson. The governor signed a bill last session prohibiting abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy. Around the same time, doctors can detect a heartbeat. On the program, Bevin argued that laws allowing abortion are racist.
And for people to come out and say that it is somehow racial justice to be able to kill black children before they're even born is a remarkably empty argument and highly offensive, frankly, to many people like myself.
State Representative Robert Goforth is challenging Governor Bevin. He supports that legislation and even stricter laws similar to what Alabama just passed. Another Republican challenger, William Wood, says the government should not be involved in a woman's decision to abort. In the Democratic race for governor, House Minority Leader Rocky Atkins is the only Democrat not to identify as pro-choice. The owner of Maximum Security, the horse who was disqualified from this year's Derby, has issued a multi-million-dollar challenge to the owners of the 4 horses that benefited from the disqualification. Gary West says he will pay each of the owners $5 million apiece if their horse beats Maximum Security in a future race. The FDA is coming under legal pressure to review the safety of vaping products on the market. The use of e-cigarettes is skyrocketing among middle and high school students across the nation, and a number of health groups sued the FDA for putting that review on the back burner. Yesterday, a federal judge in Maryland ruled that the delay violated the law. He gave the health groups 2 weeks to propose how the FDA should fix the problem. The FDA says it's reviewing the ruling, but it will continue to tackle the e-cigarette epidemic among kids. Using snake venom in medical research. That's what experts at the Kentucky Reptile Zoo in Powell County help researchers do. The Russell's viper is one of roughly 1,000 reptiles that gets its venom extracted. Native to Southeast Asia, the Russell's viper's venom has been in use within the medical community for lupus diagnosis because this autoimmune disease has an antibody that affects the way people's blood clots. Kristen Wiley with the Kentucky Reptile Zoo says this snake's venom can make it easier for doctors to detect that antibody.
It is used in a test of that particular clotting step, and so it's one of the diagnostic tests that doctors can use to determine if people have that antibody and therefore if they potentially have lupus.
Wiley says Kentucky's native venomous copperhead snake is used for research in breast and skin cancer. Steve Kroft is retiring from CBS's 60 Minutes. He is the longest tenured correspondent for the long-running news program. The 73-year-old came to 60 Minutes in 1989. The program will celebrate his career as a journalist with a special tribute broadcast this September. Kroft's last segment this Sunday will be an investigation into bank fraud. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, more finger-pointing between the U.S. and Iran. Hear who the president blames for causing new tension.
And it's a hot and humid day here at Jenny Wiley State Resort Park. Will that continue as we head into the weekend? I'll have a look at that full forecast coming up for you guys in just a few short minutes.